Hey guys, Dodger Dave. It is the 24th of August. That makes it a Monday, and evening is coming on. So I just wanted to throw some quick thoughts out there regarding the word of wisdom, and inspired the Lord's law of health given to Joseph Smith because his wife complained about having to clean up the spit from these slobs, chewing tobacco and spitting it all over the floor. Pretty reasonable. And so Joseph Smith takes it to the Lord, he says, and comes back with a revelation. And sure enough, Emma was right. There was something wrong with these guys chewing tobacco. It wasn't approved. It wasn't good. But guess what? Something that the sisters like to do, drink coffee and sip tea, that wasn't approved either. And we've learned that it's really bad for your health. Or not. So when I was younger, a long, long time ago in a faraway galaxy, you could get a temple recommend if you were drinking decaffeinated coffee. Yeah, decaffeinated coffee. Now, the word of wisdom specifies, it says hot drinks. And so we're told that that means coffee indeed. Decaffeinated coffee was okay, so caffeine must be implicated. Of course, there's caffeine in hot chocolate, which was served at all kinds of Mormon events, all the father and son stuff. Maybe it just wasn't enough caffeine. Not sure. And then there's tea, including green tea, which sometimes doesn't have nearly as much caffeine as maybe a black tea might have, but nope, they're all evil. So I've come to find in my severe apostasy that coffee isn't all that bad. As a matter of fact, the coffee bean has some very valuable antioxidants and so forth, as does tea, especially green tea. These are actually known as health tonics. So, although BYU campus actually offers for sale caffeinated drinks now, including Coca-Cola and Diet Coca-Cola, which can be really, really lousy for your health. Any pop is pretty bad, but Diet Coke's got to be one of the worst. Diet Pepsi, of course, too. So here we got all this, well, it's literally considered Satan's urine by a lot of Mormons. And most people dump sugar and cream in it. But that doesn't have to be the way that you take your coffee. So instead of something that causes diabetes, loads of refined white sugar, how about agave syrup? It's low glycemic index, meaning it doesn't spike your glucose levels like kaboom, and then spike insulin levels and, become problematic. It's actually, a very healthful alternative to the English diet. And we can turn it into more of a health tonic with something like collagen instead of cream. Collagen. Look at that, see? Yeah, this is what holds you together. It's good for your skin, good for your hair, good for your fingernails, which, you kind of need in Utah. I'm not in Utah, but that arid climate, you've always got these Utah buggers. They're just driving you nuts, right? So it's good to be able to dig them out without breaking a nail. But all you ladies would appreciate that, right? So, yeah, there's my health tip for the day. Word of wisdom is filled with fallacy. We were told that the Lord was just way ahead of his time, way ahead of, the curve, even though pretty much most of it was copied out of what the the Temperance Society was saying at the same time, and it was the Temperance Society that applied enough public pressure in the Kirtland area to actually get a distillery for hard liquor shut down 3 weeks before Joseph Smith received this important information from the Lord Jesus. The word of wisdom also tells us that mild drinks of barley are good. Now, all you Mormons that think, that just means near beer, if you need to show your driver's license, it's evil. Joseph Smith drank beer. He drank wine until the day he died. In fact, it's in his diary that he was drinking, and it wasn't that they were taking the sacrament either. It said they wanted to improve their mood. Even though the word of wisdom kind of says you shouldn't be drinking wine except for, of your own make and for the sacrament. And then, of course, that got replaced by water because who knows? Water's less expensive. I don't know. By the way, Timothy, actually, it's Paul in the book, the epistle to Timothy, I guess. He does explicitly tell us that we need to be drinking more wine and less water. Did Jesus change his mind? I don't know. He drank wine. I mean, not that I believe he was real, but in the story, he drinks wine, he turns water into wine and all that good stuff, right? Yeah, so we've got some real contradictions. We've got problems with Scripture. We've got problems with nutritional science and reality here, especially in the choices made by the Lord's anointed in promoting stuff that's very unhealthful at Brigham Young University, while you're unworthy to enter the house of the Lord if you drink this, which is a lot better for you, especially the way Dodger Dave prepares it, especially the way I prepare it. I'm just a health food nut, right? Yeah, nut. You're a nut, right? Why do they attach that to? It's conspiracy nut, health food nut, because they want you to eat the stuff for the 4 basic food groups, dairy, meat, because then you'll be in great health, right? Wheat for man. A lot of people don't do well with wheat, especially gluten and so forth. Is there anything that's in the 4 food groups that what they taught, when I was a kid, that are actually that great for you? Probably something, right? So I made a video a while back that showed some statistical information on various subjects, and I believe I did one on the word of wisdom also. I'm not sure if I showed the stats on that, but isn't Utah awfully high in sugar consumption? And who can compete with Utah's consumption of Green Jello? Green Jello, that's good. That's good. I mean, I'm not sure if this is part of the new, priesthood handbook, but do you have to have a double chin to be a bishop in Utah if you're over 40? Just asking. Anybody know? Put it in the comments below. I'm not sure Jesus was ahead of his time. Neither that or he probably needs to do some study on nutrition. Yeah, so word of wisdom, beer. Oh, yeah. When Prohibition came out in around, 1920s or so, 1920, I think, that's when the Lord apparently made an adjustment to the interpretation of what mild drinks of barley meant that were recommended. Yeah, so then all alcohol was bad just because the government in the United States said it was bad. And so Jesus changed his mind for the government of the United States because Jesus is affected by his prophets, local culture, or political environment. All right. Anyway, just thought I'd share those thoughts. Mormonism, the culture in Mormon communities in Utah, I don't think promotes great health. The church has beef farms, and the inspired version of the Bible by Joseph Smith, says that we'll be accountable for the blood of all animals that we shed. The blood, we'll be accountable for taking the lives, essentially, of animals. He changed a verse that was about people in Genesis and applied it to animals, and it kind of goes along with the word of wisdom, which says to only eat animals in times of, hunger, extreme hunger, famine, and cold. And I'm pretty sure that's not how they live in Utah. Every ward dinner event I've ever been to that I recall included meat dishes. In fact, if you get to the point financially where with paying tithing and having children every 16 months or so, like Spencer Kimball was essentially promoting when he said, get the factory started. Those aren't his exact words. He said, don't do anything. When you get married, do not do anything to delay the bearing of children, and do not Do not limit the size of your families. Do not if you can't afford it. Do not if you're not emotionally, physically, financially, whatever. No, you just said don't limit it. Start the factory, get it going, and keep it going. Get on her and stay on her, and no birth control, guys. You got to maximize our Mormon. This is part of the Make More Mormons deal, right? But I guess the Lord changed his mind on that too. He's changed his mind on a lot of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I guess we don't need to get into some of the things he's changed his mind on. We're going to try to keep it, on topic here. So, word of wisdom, the Lord's people, not nearly as healthy as the Seventh-day Adventist people who actually do avoid eating meat and that sort of a thing. I mean, we used to eat those things called Big Franks. They were soy dogs. Of course, soy dogs, well, making a lower, whatever. And that might slow down the factory, I suppose. It's possible. But maybe that's why the church didn't push soy. Maybe that's why they had beef products. Well, could be something to do with their investments. Aren't they like the second largest landowner in England? And what about in Florida? And what about in Utah? I'm not sure. I mean, there's not much room in Utah. They've given 97% of it away to the United States government, the United Nations, whoever the hell, right? It's like federally owned. Crazy. Green Jello, sugar, meat, white flour, white sugar, dairy. I mean, basically, if you need help from the church, you're going to be eating garbage. Garbage. In the one true church, you're going to, with Deseret foods, you're going to be eating some of the, most unhealthy diet that's possible. Why, Jesus? Why didn't you update the brethren on how stupid the four basic food groups diet is? Why are you constricted to the teachings of the times by the the money-controlled powers that influence what's called education and turns out to be more like indoctrination? I don't know. Something to think about, Jesus. Don't want to push you. Just think about it. If you like what I do, links below. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions and help. The Venmo stuff gets to me a lot faster. I just put Venmo in because it takes days to process GoFundMe. So, the other day, some people were very helpful. But that was like Friday, and it's Monday, and I'm still, still got 6 pennies in the bank there. So, I did find something somewhere and then stuck in the wrong account. It wasn't much, but I did finagle enough, so I'm doing okay today. And I hit a food bank, and that's why I'm doing okay. So, thanks for supporting the Dodger Dave channel. The Mormon Truth Videos Gospel Topics Hub is the resource I think is probably the most useful for anyone to learn the truth about the church, because page by page, as you know, we've got subject by subject, written narrative, and applicable videos from the 500 or so videos I've got up now. Thanks a lot. See you later.